So Liz earlier mentioned the STEM curriculum, and obviously there's a massive focus on STEM at the moment in education, and I just wanted to mention the overlap there with the animal care sectors and the zoo sectors. So STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, how does that fit with animals? You know, if you want to work with animals, you might think, why do I need to know maths? Why do I need to know technology? But actually there's such a massive overlap with the STEM curriculum and animal care and the zoo industry. First of all, with the sciences, obviously biology is a biggie when it comes to anatomy and physiology. If we can understand a little bit about how those animals' bodies actually work, then we know so much about them and about their dietary needs and any kind of behavioural needs and things. Chemistry then, when you work in the animal care sector, you will be handling at some point some kind of medication for that animal, in the veterinary industry more than others, but all collections will need to medicate animals at some point, and a slight basic knowledge of chemistry is really useful there, because obviously then you have a better understanding of those drug preparations. Behaviour and nutritional sciences are biggies then as well. When you're working in the animal care sector, you need to get quite good at reading behaviour. That can tell you a lot. And then knowing about nutrition also will help you know what you can feed to that specific species, because they're all different. Technology, so information technology, it used to be, you know, when I was a kid, when we went to the vets, they produced this little index card they wrote everything down on. People don't tend to do that so much now. Everything is stored on computers. Even the zoos have central databases that store everything on computers. So information technology is a biggie. Microchips and scanners, many animals are microchipped. And then there are now starting to become available things like bionic limbs and things for animals. In terms of engineering, we use enrichment programs a lot for animals within the animal care sector and the zoo sector. So what's an enrichment program? Well, an enrichment program is something that makes that animal's life just that little bit more exciting. So if you think about it, if you've got a little dog or a little cat at home, and you could pop a wee bowl of food down for that dog or cat, and it's going to eat it and then it's going to wander off. If you took that food and you put it into a little treat ball or something like that, that would only drop out one little biscuit at a time, it would take that wee dog or cat a little bit more time to eat that and keep them a little bit more engaged and interested while they're obtaining that food. And that is why we design enrichment programs for animals. Animal accommodation obviously is a massive feat of engineering as well. We try and avoid escapees and make sure that things are suitable for animals. And then we have the various kind of implants and things that we can use. We can use things like contraceptive implants for animals as well. Maths then, as I've mentioned, many collections you will have access to need to medicate animals, and you know, you may be doing some basic drug calculations and things depending on what your role is. Weight management, we need to keep tabs on the weights of the different animals we look after to make sure that they stay happy and healthy. And then nutrition calculations and things as well to make sure that we are meeting their nutritional needs. STEM curriculum with the zoo side of things then, conservation and ecology are a biggie when it comes to the sciences, behaviour and nutrition again, and then the research sciences as well. And when I talk about research, I'm not talking about, you know, these laboratories where you're testing products on animals. I'm talking about field type of research where you're out in the wild observing naturals of behaviour, and this can really help us to have a better understanding of the species that we look after within animal collections, but also to help them survive out in the wild. Technology, again, information technology, computers are used a lot, and then you've got your microchip scanners and contraceptive implants as well for zoo animals. The animal handling equipment needs to be much more superior for a lot of the zoo species than it would be for you know, some of the domestic species. I couldn't just pop a collar and lead on a Bengal tiger, for example, and trot it way off to the vets. If it needs to be seen by the vets, you can imagine that is a massive tactical operation. Engineering, again with the enrichment programmes, and in a wee second I'm just going to show you a little video which will feature some enrichment programmes so that you can see those firsthand. And then animal accommodation also, we couldn't have some European wolves just trotting about Dundee by accident because they've managed to escape their accommodation. So these need to be really cleverly designed. And then we've got the transportation of animals, and many wild animals will need darted to be transported because of the risk that they pose to human beings if they were to become fractious or escape. Maths then, when we're talking about wildlife conservation and things, there's a lot of data analysis goes into that. So you will make your own observations, but also if you can back that up with some figures and statistics, that's also good. Then you have the drug calculation side of things where, you know, when you're working in zoo collections and things, you will definitely be handling different medications and different drugs. And weight management as well. A lot of this is done by visual body scoring, but we do need to keep tabs on weight to make sure that the animals stay healthy. Nutrition as well, there's not as much known about a lot of the wild species nutrition as there would be kind of on the internet for dogs and cats. So a lot of research done in and around this, and diets are changing, and recommendations for captive diets for the wild species are changing all the time.